Hey there, so Glines from the Automator, another special episode of What We Automated. It's going to be What We Automated this year, sounds crazy, but I'm not going to go deep on a lot of stuff, but I am going to cover, we'll change our tool here, so I'm going to use, prompt is not running, that's funny. Alright, I kicked it off. I've been working on a tool to refresh Explorer and do stuff, and I've been restarting, so anyway. Let me run our recently modified files, which is going to kick off, 5 or 6 different scripts. Refresh the connected path, change my DPI. How in the world? Anyway, I don't know, there's icons there. Let's move this webcam reminder up a hair. So everything's overall looking good. However, it's going back 7 days. I'm going to go crazy and say 365 days to see what we did this year. Let's see how many files that'll be. Ought to be just a couple. Did we hit 1,000? I think. Nope, 541. Okay. All right, so let's see. AJ's a client of ours. We were helping him with his Excel scripts, and that's who we were working on the secondary keyboard thing for. So those are the two big things we did for him. We also built one that would auto-align his programs on his computer. So when the GUIs restart, it will auto-arrange them for him, just to help him save time. Here's some email merge stuff. Brian, I think Brian, we were doing stuff to just inspect. We were trying to create a way, because he has mostly picture stuff. He's working on a Citrix computer, so there's no way to do any real API approach. So that's stuff for him. Dan, search Grok. Oh, that was actually for Danny. So that's funny. We were using it to search Grok. This is my play folder where I do a bunch of stuff. I was writing a script to remove the mark of the web because that in a new Windows update, I had read they added to everything. You can't preview your files, even like a PNG. It was ridiculous. I made a script to change to incognito, open file locations. I have the date modified in here. I don't know if I sort it by both. I do sort it by this, but I should sort it by location first and then that. So maybe I'll update the script so it sorts it the most recent at the top so it can show what I've been working on most recently. So again, this is where I will go in and create some tools, and then I pass it off to Irfan or Isaias to have them make sure it works properly, see if there's an optimized way, then add our script object and stuff to add a download and put it online. So lots of stuff there. This watch folder, I was just playing with that yesterday. As Ace actually reviewed, it said it's pretty good. You can set up to watch a given folder and then have it you can have a callback so it'll take actions on, hey, I found a new file, I found a MP4 file here. Okay, go process it through our effortless video reducer, right? Or maybe automatically transcribe it. I don't have to do that. If there's something I want to have a folder, I can just drop stuff and have it automatically run for me. So we were looking at how it was done, and it did a good job. I was using AI to come up. We had an example using the Windows API for watching for new files, and so it was borrowing from that, and then it did a really good job. So that's something we'll have out here in a bit. We made some big updates to our transcribe and summarize, so now we can not only get the possible titles for your transcription if you're going to create a YouTube video or something, but also link to create your thumbnails inside of you get to pick the URLs where you want it to go. I don't honestly remember what this was. Josh, I'm blanking on this. Add full invoice tag. Oh, he had an XML thing. Now I remember. Okay, and he just wanted some help adding the tags to it. So I covered that. I think I showed it in this one, but we just cleaned it up and showed it. Field expansions. Let's see. This is still, again, all client stuff. Michael V. Ron. Yeah, lots of, over the year, we've done a lot of client work. I actually, finally, I had it where, because I used their first name and then the underscore of their last name, and we have enough clients where I finally had, and I forget what it was. Maybe it was like to John, or Josh A. It was, so I had to come up with another, a second letter for their last name or something. But it's great to be getting more and more clients, and we're going to be doing more of that next year, I think, definitely targeting radiologist is doing more support for them. Spotting imposter. Oh, yeah, I gotta reach back out to Tom. You know what? I don't know if I ever got paid for this project, but we did some work for him to help spot imposters, and I never heard back. I need to make a note of that. And just, we gave him some really cool tool to be able to look for it, but I don't think I ever heard back. Random news map. So this is I have our newsletter template, and in the template it watches for something and it goes and pulls a random meme for the newsletter, so I don't have to do that. We've been making there'll be a ton of edits to this, our AutoHotkey ASM editor, and we've just been really adding to the functionality. Yesterday in the Hero Call, we were discussing a new idea that Neek, one of the members, came up with. He wanted to be able to, we have auto backing up where it will store it kind of like Studio did, but he wanted to say, hey, I want to basically flag it as a good instance that's doing what I want. And we're gonna put it where it puts it into a different folder, and that way it'll even auto delete all the old backups from the thing, because you're kind of saying this one's the golden thing, right? So that was a fun one. The debugger's coming along really well where we are, and Isaiah was mentioning to Irfan, even in VS Code, the debugger becomes disconnected at times. So and it is more so in ASM than in VS Code. But Isaiah said, yeah, it's a known thing that it's a problematic thing to deal with. But yeah, the ASM is coming along really well. It's going to be a great tool for noobs and for intermediate to advanced people. It has much more to do with the size of the scope of what you're doing. So if you're not using Git, but you're doing something and it's not overly big, it's going to be a really, really helpful tool. And we're adding lots of little cool stuff too, like being able to rename your script right within the tool. Or delete the file, and just lots of stuff that you're like, hey, I want to be able to do things to this, and other editors are a pain to set up, and we can switch between V1 and V2 and even have like a beta version. So there's lots of really, really cool stuff in the ASM. I highly recommend. We keep adding to it so much that I haven't recorded a solid video on what's in it because it keeps changing, right? And I don't want to keep recreating videos all the time on it. So what I've been doing is releasing the videos showing what we've improved that week. So you see those probably, but there's so much functionality in it, and it's going to be really hard to fully list all of its functionality. But I definitely recommend it. Right now, I'd say it's stable enough where I would recommend it over Cite or Notepad++. If you're an advanced user, VS Code is still absolutely the Ferrari, but sometimes you don't need the Ferrari if you're just running to the store, right? So it's going to be a lighter weight editor that it also has a searchable clipboard history. It has searchable files that you've opened in the past. So lots of cool little stuff. So here's the different, my version of it. So again, a lot with ASM, which this is all ASM, but it says AHK editor. So we need to update the folder to reflect that. Edit swap, so you can easily swap between your default editors. Connie, he had worked on it too, but we updated our version of this tool, and now it's a really, really cool tool. Let me go ahead and launch it here. It's going to open. It looks at my running scripts, but this tool now, there we go. So I can also say show built-in hotkeys, and so now if I type like Windows, there's a lot of Windows, and I can filter here just by Windows, and now this is going to be built-in hotkeys for Windows. So we're not programmatically detecting these. We just listed like 60 programs plus Windows default hotkeys. So you can go look them up. Or let's say I have Windows and I want to say, I don't know, print, which would be dumb. But there's lots of hotkeys around printing, right? Even from within Windows. I can switch between the different AutoHotkey programs, and we have like 60 programs. So there's our hotkeys for Telegram, which I don't even know a lot of those. So that's great that it's here. Very cool tool. Also, if you're not familiar with this nomenclature, so that's Control-T, I can click this and it'll show it in English. So that's super helpful. You can mouse over this and get that lookup if you want it, because we want to make that available. But it was kind of ugly here on the screen. You can have an exclude list. So our preferences here, these are the ones I'm telling it not to track. So I can disable that it tracks like my I have the spell check in here somewhere, and that would be so many thousands, like 4,000 words, right? So I turned that off for that one because I don't want my hot strings in that. I can also filter here if I just want hotkeys or hot strings, which is very handy. So this tool has come a long ways. It's now written in V2. Very cool. I highly recommend you check that tool out. So we're conflict checker. Oh no, this is Connie had his own version, and so his is, and I asked, I don't know if I've seen it where they posted it on like the forum or somewhere. I think they did, but it's got a lot more information, and I like the simplicity of ours, right? That's what I try to create tools that are easy for anybody to use, very clean. And I'm not knocking what they did, but we created ours. It's just a little, to me, it's a little bit cleaner, and it has I think his has some functionality ours doesn't, but ours has a lot of the built-in hotkeys and stuff, and for those 60 programs, and besides all the other stuff. So it's cool stuff. Again, lots of things in there. Clone speak. We made some updates to this one so you can actually speak, have it give it text and it will speak for you. Our AI OCR tool, that's one of my favorite tools. I use it so much. And it's so much more than that, right? You can use it for OCR, but you can also use it to take a screenshot of anything and send it to AI and ask it questions. So it's crazy helpful. Prompt Assistant, that was the one. We're creating one that we actually can easily change the prompts to feed Prompt Assistant to send it off to AI. So we were making updates to Prompt Assistant. That's what this is in here. But we haven't finished with that. Now, we're going to be working less with one of our clients, purposely so, and it's going to thankfully free up more time with Isaias and Irfan to be doing other stuff. So starting next year, we're going to start doing more, having more scripts available and be able to help people. But yeah, I'm excited to be able to have more time on our hands. Transcribe and summarize. Like I said, we've made some big updates to that, well, there's the transcribe and summarize and then transcriber. Transcribe and summarize is a great tool if you're wanting to edit the names of the speakers, grab certain things that are spoken, extract them, like certain clips. Like, it's really, really cool for that, and play the video or audio file and listen to it and watch it and go through it. Transcriber is the tool that we've been adding stuff to, it's more, you can drag multiple audio or video files to it and we'll just transcribe them and get the titles and the tags and the summary for it, but it doesn't do the changing of the names of the people that are speaking, so you'd have to manually go into the edit files and go do that, search replace and do that. They're just very different uses and what they're for, and I use the transcriber more now because for our hero calls and extracts, it's great. I grab our extracts, drag 5 of them in there, and it goes and transcribes all of them, generates the summaries for all of them, generates possible titles for all of them, and then I can push those into YouTube very quickly. So that's that. Our API syntax writer, we updated that, so it now the V2 version's more solid and it's running great. So you have to still be aware of what you're doing with API calls, right? Because it's very complicated, but it does help you write some of the stuff that are the headers and the different settings and stuff that you'll want to provide. There's a lot of different options that you might want to do, and so this tool really helps you write that stuff. I think someone, I forget who was that, they asked about having a FedEx tracker. Oh yeah, that was Ron Swanson, which was funny, is his name, right? But he had said maybe they were interested in that. I need to check back with him. This is one of those awful things I need to follow up on people with more often and just check in with them. So we also were automating connecting to Google Sheets. It's quite complicated, incredibly complicated. So we haven't shared this yet, but I need to get back to it to share it, because if you're trying to use an API approach to connect to the Google Sheet, it's really cool that you don't have to go to we see a lot of people automating the browser with the GUI, and you don't have to do that, right? You could actually set the values or read the files or do a lot of stuff, make calculations automatically without reading stuff from the GUI, which is usually horrible, right? Automate my tasks is another one. It's a V1 script, and we started a V2 and then we got busy, but after Irfan finishes up with getting ASM, our editor, really solid, I'll probably switch back to creating a V2 version of Automate My Task, because even though AI has come a long ways, it's still, and it's surprising, but it still hasn't been able to really automate doing clicks on your desktop computer reliably and consistent. So I was holding off on it because I really thought they were going to have something with that right away, and we didn't have the time. But now I think we have the time, and I don't think it'll take Irfan. He's come a crazy long ways in programming. He's gotten really good, so I think we can create this tool pretty quickly. Click Grabber is a great way to, if you just, it'll be one of the things in Automate My Task, the V2 version, because it's for doing, if you want to base it off of location, so it's a very quick way to get the coordinates and the code for doing clicks at certain locations, right? So I don't use that one enough because it doesn't, when you have something really dumb and just fast, it's super helpful. Also, somewhere in here we should have a control syntax writer, which is another Win32 controls are a great API approach for automating things, and that one would also be an Automate My Task as a different way that you could automate things if it's a Win32 control you're trying to automate. Being able to just use those controls are a really reliable way. This clipboard format, I don't know if we've even shared this one for download, but it's a great way to tell what gets shoved into your clipboard, because clipboard's quite complex and you may not be aware of it, but there's, I'd say like probably 7 very common types of formats that get copied into the clipboard, some of them at the same time. So when you copy something, a text version might get pushed into one level of your clipboard, like a layer. There might be an HTML version, there might be a rich text version, an RTF format version. There's so many things, and then there's files or audio clicks or videos that might be, or pictures and different types of pictures. So this tool lets you know, first off, when you do copy something, what's actually available. And then, because here's the other really complicated thing, when you go to paste something, usually the programs pick. The program you're pasting into says, oh, these are available, I'm going to take that one, and doesn't let you choose, right? So really annoying. So our tool allows you to say, here's what's available. I only, lose those other ones and just keep this one. So when I go to paste in my program, it only has that one to choose from, right? So very cool little tool we created. This compare sets tool, I love if you have a big list of things, great way to be doing that, to compare lists of items. Context menu trigger. This one we got to work a little more on explaining and stuff, but it's for making verbs out of your items in your Context Explorer. Like in Windows Explorer, if you right-click, there are actions, usually things you can do. Well, those, if they're in there, can be automated. So we could actually write code that will go do those without pulling up the right-click and saying, oh, move here and click here. It would literally do an API call to send that action. So, we have a script that helps with that. One of my favorite scripts is this drive creator. Again, if you're working with a network drive or lots of, clicking to navigate to certain folders or working with other people, go check out the video on this tool. I can't live without it. It's just incredible. We're building an Explorer in AutoHotkey, and we got a little, I don't know why it says Gemini, that's funny, but we got a little sidetracked. It just wasn't very snappy, and we just, kind of abandoned it. We haven't got, maybe at some point we'll get back to that. I've been doing a lot more with FFmpeg. This one, and this, actually, those got moved into the old folder, So it's kind of complicated, but like yesterday, I realized Isaiah's audio was very low compared to everybody else. And so I'm like, okay, I can download the video, which has his low audio in it with everybody, and I can go into Zoom because I have it record each person's audio separately. I can take his audio file, put them into DaVinci Resolve, and then increase his audio, and that way he sounds more level with everyone else. So it's not uncomfortable to listen to or you struggle, right? Well, in DaVinci, it's it's a little time consuming. It's not terrible, but I said, why can't I use FFmpeg for this? So actually, let me see if I can just double click this. So I built this tool, and I was testing it this morning, and now it's working. I can select a video file. I can select an audio file. I tell it how much to increase the audio file, and I hard-coded that. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I hard-code which one. Maybe I should have it where I could affect both of them. Maybe I want to lower this one instead of increasing that one. I don't know. I just hit this, and it actually merges them. Looks like we got a little bug in that one. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to exit out of it. Yeah. That's funny, though. It had some sort of error, so I'm going to have to make a note of this in the time and to tell Irfan to go check out what... I think it was looking at this tool, and there was a GUI, and it was trying to say there's no hotkeys in it, because there's not, but it failed on the reporting of the error. So, obviously, we got a little fix in that. So, yeah, so that was one I was working on this morning, and it seems to be working fine. Yeah, FFmpeg is just crazy, the stuff you can do with it. Quick raw editor. I haven't used this one in a while, but it's a good one if you're just trying to grab. You drag in a video or audio file, and you can jump around here and hit cut media. When there's one in here, you can hit cut media, and then it will extract that section for you very, very quickly with either video or audio files. We created just a file to have the different types of supported extensions. So this is total extensions for FFmpeg. This is the videos. This is the audio. So sometimes you just want that list, right? So this tool, which should be in our FFmpeg library, I'm surprised it's here. It should be in our library file. So maybe I'll check on that. Overlay V2. Yeah, I haven't touched that in a while, but clearly it's still here. So we made our sandwicher, and that's the tool that I can... I load in, so I have, I don't know, I should have a count here probably. Maybe I'll update that to have both a count of how many are listed here and how many are here. And note that it's set to random, but I drag in videos in the middle, or hit import files or drag them here. And then when I hit go, it sandwiches, it puts a random intro, a random outro onto the videos. And so it feels not like I don't have one intro or one outro, right? So that's what I've been doing with that. Zoom to stereo. Yeah, sometimes the files you get from Zoom, sometimes they're only on one channel. So I created a tool just to automatically put it to both channels. Find, replace anywhere. Oh, I was working on this tool just for fun. Sometimes you're in a browser and you have text and you want to search and replace. And, in browsers, often you can't do that. So you have to copy it, put it in Notepad or Cite or something, some editor, do the search, replace, bring it back. Well, I was like, why don't we write it where it selects a text, copies it from memory in the clipboard, it will do the search, replace, and then paste it back. So I was working on that, and I kind of abandoned it because I just know how often it comes up. But the concept's there, and it was working fairly well. Triggers class, great class, find media by length. This one you can, I didn't remember where this was. Oh. Okie dokie. This tool, that didn't run properly, you can search for audio or video files that are of a certain length, minimum, maximum length or something, which is cool. Because that's not easy. Flexifinder, yeah, I turned off that. Get active path, again, one of my must-have scripts. You can begin tons of different programs and hit your hotkey and it will get you the path to the active file. So very, 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 I can't emphasize enough how much once you use this tool, you'll get like, oh my God, how'd I live without it? Very cool. We're getting down there. Audio capture. So we wrote some stuff that uses the WinRT library, and Isaiah was just mentioning he actually has some GPTs or projects in ChatGPT where they have expert knowledge of the WinRT, and so it helps him speed up stuff. But we were using it for different things. Irfan has a way to change the title color of your up in here. I think like this is green, but he can change it to yellow or whatever. That's what our ASM does. Refresh. I was playing with this morning. If you're using Windows 11, and let's see I don't know what this folder is here. This is where I just launched prompt assist from. But if I create a new file, it may or may not automatically show up, and it drives me nuts because you have to hit F5 in order to see it. So I wrote a little tool, I mean AI, wrote a little tool this morning, this auto refresh, and it will automatically detect, it uses the Windows API to say, hey, was a file created in this folder? And if it was, it will refresh the Explorer window for you. So I gave that to the guys to review. It seemed to work fine, but I want them to take a look at it and see if it's, if there's something could be optimized. But very, very cool tool. Hopefully that'll help people. It drives me nuts, so I'm looking forward to that. Our notify class, if you don't have this class, it's a great way to put up notifications to your users or to yourself. Really, really cool. Rafadium is our go-to, most robust way to do web scraping with AutoHotkey. We don't have a ton of documentation to it and stuff, and you really got to know what you're doing. But if you are an admin and you can download an executable, because the drivers are executables, that's just nothing that we can handle, because that's just part of the library that Irfan created. But it's based off of Selenium, I think, in general. But yeah, the drivers are available from the browser manufacturers, and it just automatically does stuff. Very advanced concepts and things that you can do with it, but it's highly robust, but you really got to know your stuff. No idea what that is. Toolbar. Here's our toolbars for with toolbar class. I don't know if that's a library we've made available to download, but Irfan created the toolbar class for our editor, and so now it's easy to create toolbars, which is cool. Long press detector. We were doing stuff with having long press hotkeys, making it easy. My media player, I did a lot of updates to. I still haven't published them because I've kind of. I want to. There are a few more things I want to do to it first, like making playlists and just saving the playlists based probably off of genre or something. So I'm gonna need to work on that. Message master. This is actually a V1 script we've had forever. And it's what we send out the newsletter with. And we use the Mailgun API for sending it out. It's very cool. And we were going to create a simple version. And then, again, we got distracted with other stuff. But we're going to start helping a lot of small businesses. And that might be something they want to be able to do, is to set up a newsletter or email their clients. And so this would be very cool for that. Search and replace a word. This just looks at the newsletter and replaces placeholders I have. I've done videos on this one before and talking to it, but it's very cool. I just made an update today. Actually, let me see in here at the top. Yeah, right here, this set timer to exit app. After I've set, I should have updated this here. So after 40 minutes, if it's still running, it will exit out. So this one line does everything, right? So it automatically, I basically set a fuse inside my own script because I will forget to exit out of it. So I can use this thing in 40 minutes. That's quite a while, but that's about right. Sometimes I'm in it for 15 to 20 minutes and I wouldn't want the script to exit. Usually I use it within a couple of minutes, I'm done. But sometimes I get distracted and I come back to things. But I want it to automatically exit out. And so this way I put a little fuse in it. So it's a great little tip. You can just borrow this line right here and add that to your scripts if you're running V2, and you multiply, like this should say, and this one I can't edit it because this is an editor, this should say 40 minutes because it's the 40 here, 60 times 1,000, so that gets it up to 1 minute, and then whatever you're multiplying it by tells you how long, when it will actually exit out. So that was the minor tweak I made to that just yesterday during the hero calls. I was adding them in real quick in a couple of them. And I added them to a bunch of the newsletter stuff. So we pull the newsletter list and things. I added it to those. Where am I? Well, let's just get back. Subscribers, yes, we can pull that. Triggers class, OBS banner. That's the thing that is in the bottom of the screen that updates automatically, which is ironically updated with its own name. So I use that a lot in the hero calls and stuff and for this. So it automatically, I have it reading this file, and it looks somewhere in here in this file. If we scroll down, we'll see here the Automator OBS dynamic banner, and that is what updated this text at the bottom of this screen, right? I think it's that line right there. We clean it up because I don't want the full thing, obviously, because I don't want all the extra stuff in it. But yeah, and we capitalize the Automator stuff, but it dynamically looks at this tool, and when I'm running it, it will automatically read it, so I don't have to put that up on the screen. So it saves me a bunch of time. Like I said, Prompt Assistant, we've been doing a lot of updates to that. We'll have to do some more videos talking through how to use it. It's an amazing, amazing tool. Highly recommend it. Recently modified files. That's the script we're running right here. This is the one I tried 2 different approaches, and I was first asking AI, how can we do this? And it suggested updating your registry and certain things, and I thought it worked. I saw one right away, but then it didn't do other stuff, so I abandoned it. I tried a couple other things that didn't work. Startup Cleaner. This one, I would love to recommend it because when you go, let me show you. If you go to Task Manager, let me bring this over if you're not familiar with it. So I'm just on my toolbar. I'm going to right click and go to Task Manager. I know there's a hotkey for that somewhere, right? But I don't remember it. I could use my tool. And when you go to Startup, here is a list of things. The problem is you can enable or disable from this list, but you can't remove. There are some things that like, so you can see I have a bunch disabled, right? And there are some that are enabled, but I have some things that I've disabled, but and this is why like Promptus is listed here. It shouldn't be disabled. But I think the problem was I had a different path to it. But there's no way to remove this. So meaning AI, wrote this tool, but when I did it, I don't know if it was the cause or not. And what I need to do is to find a way to back these up. These toolbars, this toolbar and this toolbar, somehow lost all of the icon. It's so hard to explain. I should have showed Isaias and them. All of the things were still there. I could click them. It would open the folder where they were, but it changed them to where they were no longer active. I couldn't click them and it wouldn't launch stuff. And it lost all of the icons. I had to go manually go through each one of these and reset them. So I don't know. I was working on that script at the same time. I don't know if that was the cause or not. And I've just been busy, so I didn't try to track it down. But yeah, I do like this idea of the Startup Cleaner, but I'm very hesitant to go through that again. So next time I'll make a backup of these first, rerun it, and test it. Our icon finder, if you want to be able to look for different icons, amazing tool because you can search. Let me just launch it here because if you don't have it, it's really cool. So it's right now building a list of icons, and then I can come in here and search for it. Let's say red, and these are things that should often be red, or have the word red. Let's do green, make it be more obvious. There you go. You can see. So we've gone through and tagged things, and you can add tags as well. But also, you can actually give you code. So if you wanted to get set like your status bar tray set icon. So this, now, if I copy that, it gives me, you know what? Oh, maybe it's off the screen because, no, that should be. Here, I can move this guy over here and paste. And that didn't work. Let's try this again. Okie dokie. That's interesting. Oh, you know what? I didn't select an icon. Let's select here. We should be telling you that. So, create set icon. There we go. Now we have the notification down here. It should tell you, hey, nothing was selected, right? This is the code I would put in my script to go change the set the tray icon. Right, and we even have the tags get exported, so it's actually on the same line. It's just wrapping it. It can remind you what this 78 is, because after you paste that, you may forget what. Hey, what was that? Well, this way we can see what it was, right? Or at least have the text to it. Yeah, but very, very. It's the only tool I know where you can search and look for icons, built-in Windows icons. But it allows V1 or V2 code for writing the stuff. So very, very, very cool tool. Let's see. Telegram bot. This one reminds our hero members when there's a hero call. This one, this is one we do for billing for our clients, and I can pick myself here. Joe G. And it has our hourly rates, our mid-level rate. Urfi and I raised this because he's so good now. And I can... Let's see, I can change this to be 2 hours. And since I'm listed, if I hit Stripe, it would go invoice me in Stripe, but I'm going to hit email. I don't have Outlook open right now, so it's going to have to open Outlook and then generate the email. And I can paste right here, and it has the picture. Let me shrink that down. So automatically it makes it really easy. And notice I have it here sent to the person, but also I'm blind CCing myself just so I have a record of it, right? And it gives them the link to go pay and stuff. So very cool, simple way for me to automate, invoicing people. Speed this up quite a bit. Text to speech. You can, again, like the other one, have it talk. Automator Resource Finder. If you're trying to look for our videos or scripts or downloads, or even check the AutoHotkey help, this tool you can search everywhere. Our spy, compared to the Windows built-in AutoHotkey spy, I love our Automator spy much more. We have an on-screen display thing. This would show you what hotkeys I'm clicking. Here we get into, it looks like a lot of site stuff, which I'm not going to go over because that's just... I use Site for looking at text files. That's basically it. Our Ultimate Spy, again, an amazing tool. Not cheap, but if you have a call with us, we'll give it to you. So it's free if you schedule a consultation with us. URL memory. This is the thing that's notifying you down here, and it stores it so I can then paste it in this video of what URLs we were discussed. It monitors the clipboard and looks for the automator.com, and that's how it knows to go grab that and add it, by the way. So it's a very simple script. This is the verb lookup thing I was mentioning earlier. It's the same one as the context menu, just a different approach. Configuring the JSON thing. This is the directory watcher I mentioned earlier. Windows snipping, V2. So we have a V2 version. We haven't made it public yet, but we do need to go update it. YouTube HTML writer for YouTube. I think this is what gives me the pretty link. Yeah. We won't worry about that. Well, you know, I haven't done much. I need to go back to this order of windows and see if it's working properly, because it's really helpful. And percent visible, yeah, it's all related to that. Track time for extraction. This one is what is really helped me streamline the process for extracting tidbits of our videos. So that's really helpful. It's what allowed me to extract a bunch of stuff and share it more on YouTube. Auto accept remote control, because the guys are constantly working with me on my computer. This script's always running on my computer, and when they ask for remote control, it automatically grants it to them, so I don't have to be here, or I don't have to even find it. It just does it, so it's really handy. And my main script, actually that's not my main, this is one that I wrote years ago, which has a bunch of other stuff. It's all, I think it's still V1. Oh no, it's V2. Okay. Oh, this is for launching Zoom. I'm sorry, this launches my room. And I have one for the hero room, which I need to update because it doesn't, for some reason, doesn't open it. But that's the quick look at what we did. Over 541 files, which I'm sure we had a lot more than that. But that's what's listed here. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching and subscribing to our channel. And consider joining that hero group. It's a really fun group of people where we go there and talk about what we've worked on lately and come up with ideas on how to help people. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.